For decades, the health of the Gulf of Mexico has faced tremendous threats. For more than 40 years, the Nature Conservancy has been working with our friends and neighbors along this incredible coast to strengthen its defenses. But nothing could have prepared us for what happened in 2010.
The explosion on the Deepwater Horizon rig happened on April 20th. April 22nd, it sunk. The next day or so is when they found out it was spewing oil. We were kind of unsure at that point how bad it was going to be until I heard estimates that were saying there were 70,000 barrels of oil gushing out of it a day.
Well, the oil spill basically erupted our economy because that's where our tourists came in. The tourists brought money, and it really knocked people who was oystering, crabbing, everything.
The oil spill had devastating impacts on the natural habitats of the Gulf, killing lots of birds, sea creatures, salt marshes, and the settlement with BP is an attempt to recover and restore those resources for the future, and at the same time to build a base for the long-term restoration of the Gulf of Mexico.
We are uniting our environment and our love of the environment, our protection of the environment, along with local economies and communities to find that nexus that brings all of us together to support what's happening on our coast.
This event, as much of a catastrophe as it was, is an opportunity to fix things, to save the Gulf of Mexico for its many multiple benefits.
Invigorated by a new sense of urgency, and with Restore Act funding to back it, we're leaning into our efforts more than ever before. Since the oil spill, we've been rebuilding and restoring the Gulf of Mexico to protect habitats and sustain livelihoods. TNC has a long history in large-scale land protection, and we continue to do that in the Gulf. In the 10 years since the oil spill was capped, we've secured more than 50,000 acres of coastal land, connecting and preserving habitat that would have otherwise been lost. We're strengthening people's connection to nature by improving access to the Gulf shores in places like the Perdido River with a paddle trail through a natural sanctuary along the Florida-Alabama border. And through our Gulf Corps program, we're bringing together young adults through hands-on restoration work by providing job and industry experience for conservation.
I'm gaining skills, I'm getting certified and stuff, I'm learning new skills every day. I'm learning myself, I'm learning my worth.
The Gulf will only be saved in the long run if the people of the region decide it's important to them. And so working with young people to try to instill that idea of attachment and ownership to this amazing place is part of what Gulf Corps is about.
Water quality has always been essential to the health of the Gulf, and we're coming up with natural solutions to improve it. By building and restoring oyster reefs throughout the Gulf, we are cleaning the water, increasing habitat for species that call the Gulf home, and providing shoreline protection for the coast. Places like Galveston Bay, Texas, and Pensacola, Florida, are some of our largest of these projects, totaling more than 100 acres. And in Mississippi, we're protecting upstream water sources along the Pascagoula and Wolf River to provide cleaner water downstream. And throughout the Gulf, we're working to limit coastal erosion. One of our most important projects aims to save Alabama's seafood capital. Restoring Lightning Point will help protect and preserve assets important to the fishing industry, but it will also save valuable habitat for migratory birds as well as nurseries for fish.
The Gulf of Mexico program has a goal of long-term restoration of the Gulf of Mexico, both for its benefits to the natural environment and to people. We've been working in the Gulf for 40 years to work in the Gulf of Mexico for another 40 years.
We're looking into the future. So we're buying land, but we're taking that land and we're preserving it into the future. We're being good stewards with stewardship activities on the ground. And then we're looking at those shorelines and areas that impact communities, and we're looking at ways to buffer those. We're rebuilding habitats, we're finding ways to break wave energy and prevent erosion, and we're uniting all this under our projects. It's the conglomeration of all of these things that really excites me about our work at the Nature Conservancy.